Howdy, folks. I'm Vogish Volpiculia, voraciously vying for Vermilion Vests.
I'm Amber.
And here are more Vermilion Vests for us to vie for, and I don't know why we are doing this, but I guess they're very important vests.
I mean, you're a fox who loves to look stylish.
I guess so. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Photoshopping My Boyfriend's Ex Out of a Picture While He Was at Work? I'm a 27-year-old female, and my boyfriend is a 36-year-old male of 2 years. And he was married in his early 20s and has 2 kids with his ex. He has 3 family pictures in his house that have her in the pictures. In one, he's with her, the kids in the middle of the 2 of them. In another, it's him with the kids and her off to the right, sort of in the background. In the third, it was him and her together, and the 2 kids and Mickey Mouse, Disney. She has been awful to me, and I hate seeing her face. I've asked him to take the pictures down several times, but he says that they are special memories with the kids. Well, yesterday I had enough. I used a scanning app on my phone to scan the pictures, and then I paid someone on Fiverr to remove her from the pictures. All 3 of the pictures look professionally done. It's the same photos, just without her. I then went to Walmart and had them print some new pictures in the same size. I put them in the frames, and I put the originals in a desk drawer. When my boyfriend came home, I asked him if he noticed anything different, and he said he didn't, which is what I suspected. The photos look great now, and still have him and the kids. I pointed out one of the pictures, and he got livid to me and said that I was being a jealous Nancy. I admit that I laughed because what's a jealous Nancy? Well, the laughing really set him off. He asked for the originals back and said that he was going to put them back and gave me an ultimatum to either accept his past relationship or move on. I said, well, I guess you don't want to be with a jealous Nancy. And he said no. I laughed again and he asked me to leave. I have not heard from him since, but I expect him to get over it. Really, this woman has been terrible to me. I'm not going to get started on it, but she has been cruel to the point of breaking contact with her except to text about the kids. I think that I have every right to not want to see her face. One of the pictures is in his bedroom even. Maybe I should just get over it. I feel like I was doing him a favor because at least I didn't just cut her out, which was my original plan. Am I the jerk? Edit, I have a great relationship with his children, much to the ex's chagrin. Several of you have assumed that I was the other woman in a relationship, and I was not. They were divorced before I met him. You are right that there was infidelity in the relationship. She cheated with 2 men that we know of. That's why they divorced. Also, the people calling this fake, I'm not sure what to tell you. I'm just starting to wish that it was because it would be easier than all of you calling me names, besides Jealous Nancy, which is still funny. Alright, folks, and before we actually make our judgment, I do want to read one of the comments here because I think it adds a little bit of information. And Dashk says, You're the jerk. You gave no examples of how the ex was horrible to you. The pictures are there as happy memories, not for you, but for them. You don't like them? Then don't look. As long as you're with your boyfriend, that woman will always be in your life, one way or the other. Either deal with it or break up. And OP replies, I didn't want to get into it here, but just a couple of things that she has done. She told the youngest that it was okay to call me Mrs. Itchy Butt and Mrs. Ugly. 2, she told the oldest to put bleach on my clothes. Thankfully, we caught it before it happened. She admitted to this by a text. Called my former boss when I still had a job and told him that I was a bad person. 4, called my boyfriend at 3 a.m. knowing that I was there and started talking garbage about me loudly enough that I could hear it after claiming that she needed to talk to him because it was an emergency with the kids. They were at his house that night. 5, someone let air out of my tires, but I can't prove it was her who did it. These are just some of the things. Alright, folks, what do you think of this one?
I mean, this one's a little bit complicated for me. I mean, I think that OP and her partner really need to have a big conversation about this instead of going the whole, I'm going to remove from the photos route.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, luckily the original photos are preserved, so he still has those. You know, she didn't go the route of cutting them up or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it does show a fundamental issue in their relationship if they're at this sort of an impasse. It does seem like the first wife has been very terrible to OP, and I can understand why OP wouldn't want to see these pictures all the time. But that, again, needs to be something that she and her partner come to a consensus on, and not something that she just unilaterally decides.
Well, and that's the trouble I have with her actions here, is that it really seems like she took matters into her own hands and just went ahead and removed her. Maybe she was expecting maybe OP was expecting her boyfriend to be a little more, like, understanding of it because he said it was memories with the kids. And again, like, with as terrible as the ex has been, I do feel a lot of sympathy towards OP, but it's clear that no matter what, OP's still always going to be kind of second in this relationship, right?
Right. Well, this is symptomatic of a much larger issue in their relationship. And if he's not willing to make any concessions to try and ensure her happiness, like, that doesn't bode well for the future of this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, surely there's like a compromise somewhere, right? Because,
Right.
like, maybe put the photos up in places like the kids' rooms, right?
Right. Or in
Well,
an album where
yeah.
they can easily be accessed.
And I mean, I can understand if you're being tormented by a person on a constant basis, why you wouldn't want to see them and why you wouldn't want to interact with them. And it feels like he's not accommodating a pretty easy request to accommodate, right? I don't think like she's saying he has to cut her out of the life of the kids or anything like that, right? She's just asking not to have to see her every single day.
Right. And again, I think the defining factor for me is that this woman is bullying
Mm-hmm.
OP, like, ordinarily I would say, yeah, the ex's pictures still stay up in the house because it's their family unit, it's important to the kids,
Mm-hmm.
all that sort of stuff. Like, but in this particular case, I can understand OP's discomfort. And again, I think she and her partner need to sit down and talk, maybe with a neutral third party, like in marriage counseling, and sort this out and find a situation that works for both of them, or maybe go their separate ways.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they've kind of worked things out in the respect that they're going their own separate ways at
Yeah.
this point in time. And I think that's actually probably for the best because OP has to consider that this isn't going to stop anytime soon, right? She's going to continue to torment OP for as long as they're together. So, I mean, I guess like if she really loves this man and really wants to be in his life, maybe that's something that she has to deal with, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, maybe it's best to just kind of move on and not be subjected to this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Selling My Roommate's Exotic Fish to Replace My Destroyed Laptop? Well, last month something happened that is now blowing up in my face, and I need some perspective. My roommate Luke and I both attend the same college and share an apartment. Luke has a serious passion for exotic fish and a large, expensive aquarium in our living room. It's his pride and joy. Meanwhile, I'm a graphic designer and my laptop is essential for all of my projects and assignments. Last week, I left my laptop on the living room table while I went to grab some coffee. When I got back, I found that my laptop had been soaked in water next to the aquarium. Apparently, Luke had been trying to adjust something and clumsily knocked over a bucket of water right onto my laptop, and it was completely ruined. I confronted Luke and he apologized, but said that he couldn't afford to replace my laptop. It was a high-end model necessary for my design work. He suggested that I claim it on insurance, but my policy doesn't cover accidents caused by a roommate. Desperate and frustrated, I remembered Luke talking about how much his fish were worth. So I found a buyer for one of the most expensive fish, and I sold it and got enough money to replace my laptop. I figured that it was only fair since his negligence had caused me a huge financial and academic loss. Luke discovered this yesterday and went ballistic. He is now threatening to sue me for selling his fish without permission. And our mutual friends are split down the middle, some saying that I was justified, while others think that I went too far. So, am I the jerk for selling Luke's fish to replace my laptop that he destroyed? Alright, folks, what do you think?
Everyone's in the wrong here. Like, yeah, the friend should, or roommate should replace the laptop, but you don't get to sell someone's pet as retaliation. Like,
Yeah, I think that OP has opened themselves up to a felony,
yeah.
right? Like, if this fish was enough to buy a high-end laptop, we're talking probably like a couple grand. That's a felony in a lot of places. OP is going to be lucky not to be thrown into jail if their friend actually brings this to the police, right?
Right, and like, again, I understand that this is not a good situation and that it's very frustrating to have something you need for school destroyed like that.
Yeah.
But there are other avenues that OP could have taken that were still legal and don't involve stealing someone's pet.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand OP being frustrated and upset, and they have every right to be, right? Like, Luke could have moved the laptop. He could have asked OP to move the laptop before he started messing around with the water, right? And I'm guessing that if these are exotic fish, that might have been salt water, which is probably why the laptop was completely ruined. So that would be my guess, because otherwise, water damage isn't going to be an immediate type of problem if you shut the computer down and stuff like that, right? But salt water is pretty much going to fry a computer. So I think that OP could have taken him to small claims court. And I think that the way he could have done this is one comment he makes actually is that it would take too much time to bring this to court, right? And that's fine. Take a loan out from the bank and then, present the interest as an expense of that loan, right? And when you win your settlement, you'll get paid, reimbursed not only the loan, but the interest as well, right? And or there are a lot of places that have credit lines, right? So you can usually go online and buy a laptop for a payment plan now, right?
Right. Well, and even if OP put the legal stuff into motion, like it might be enough to get the roommate to actually just step in and be like, "Oh, I'll go get you a new computer."
Yeah. And like I think the roommate is really in the wrong because
Hmm.
again, like he could have taken more precautions to make sure that the laptop wasn't ruined.
Right. Well, and you have to be careful in, common areas. People are going to end up leaving things around. And I know it was an accident, but you're still responsible when you break someone's things by accident.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a jovial Bob sign joke.
Why did the goody goody bring his computer to school?
Oh, this is a perfect one. This is a perfect one because we just had a computer today, even though this is like a book all of computer jokes. The goody goody brought their computer to work because they knew that their teacher would really enjoy the presentation that they were going to give in class today, and if they didn't bring their laptop into school, then they would have failed that presentation.
He wanted to give an apple to the teacher.
That's bribery.
Yeah. Yes.
This is an old joke back when it probably was like Apple IIs or something like that.
Yeah, it's from 1985 is when this joke book was published.
Yeah, so that's a big computer, not a laptop.
Yeah.
And I have Mega Mint tea. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy spectacular Saturday, folks. I can't believe it. We made it to the weekend. I hope your weekend is going spectacularly. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a haiku.
Don't sell people's pets even to pay off your debts. Find another way.
Oh, that is a great haiku. Well done. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Howdy, folks. I'm Vogish Howdy, folks. I'm Vogish for. Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. I'm Vogish, full peculiar, veras. Howdy, folks. I'm Vogish for. Howdy, folks. I'm Vogish, vera peculiar, ver.